Hi students, I am very glad in meeting you again through this homeschooling. Today we are going to see about the important terms from chapter 3 respiratory system, and we are not going to see all the important terms but only one, that is oxygen depth. For every activity we need energy, and for energy production oxygen is very necessary for oxidization, that we have seen in the previous class too. But when we do an anaerobic activity or a fast hard activity, the energy production is more and also energy is required more. When we do an immediate anaerobic activity or a hard activity, the requirement for the energy is more. So what happens? The tissues which stores the oxygen, they just release the oxygen more in order to produce the high amount of energy in the body. The oxygen which is already stored in the tissues earlier itself, that oxygen are also used to produce the energy for that particular action. And after that action or activity is done, when our body is at rest, we breathe more volume of oxygen in order to give back the oxygen which was taken from the tissues. And the volume of oxygen that we consume more than the normal is called oxygen depth. In simple words, the tissue have given the oxygen for the immediate energy. So now the tissue have dipped the oxygen. So it have to take it back. So after the action or the activity is done, we consume more amount of oxygen and that oxygen is taken back by tissue. This is called oxygen depth. The second thing that we consume more volume of oxygen is to convert this lactic acid into carbon dioxide and water. The first class we have seen that during respiration we just expel the carbon dioxide and also water. The same thing when we do an anaerobic activity, the oxygen which we consume more, that makes the lactic acid to be transformed into carbon dioxide and water. That's why we breathe deeply after any kind of exercise or any hard work. You're clear, students? Now I will make it a little bit easier for you. In a normal time, a person breathing rate will be 20 per minute. A normal person breathes 20 times in a minute. But during anaerobic activity, the person breathes 50 to 60 times a minute. Why? Because the energy production is very high in a particular body, so that the person can give more effect. And see, the oxygen is used very much during that activity. Tissues just give out the oxygen which have been stored earlier, and now the person is just taking rest. So the oxygen which is dipped by the tissues, the oxygen which was given by the tissues during this time have to be get back. So during resting time, the person breathes the same rate and slowly it comes back to the normal, that is 20 times a minute. Even after the activity, the person continues to take deep breath, because this oxygen which was used here have to be settled back. And when the oxygen is deposited in the tissues, slowly the breathing rate will go down to a normal rate. And this is called oxygen depth. I hope that you have understood this term, and soon we will start our part 2 from chapter 3. Until then, bye bye. Meet you soon.